On Monday, I searched for fractional accessibility in Google, and what was good to see was accessible.org ranking number two. What was even better to see was one of the students in my digital accessibility business course, Anna, ranking number one. And I didn't realize it until I started recording for this video, but Anna also ranks number four. So she is dominating the search results for fractional accessibility. She owns the domain fractionalaccessibility.com. And if you're unfamiliar with fractional accessibility, Google's AI has it defined as a service model where companies access expert accessibility support on a part time or fractional basis rather than hiring a full time employee. And so Anna and I talked about this in one of our one on one sessions, and she's followed through with this. So let's look at fractionalaccessibility.com. We've got a nice, simple, straightforward website where we can easily get information about services. Here we can see Anna is offering remediation, audits, and consulting. And we have the tagline, I help businesses and teams ensure their websites are compliant, functional, and accessible. And so we've got more information, a call to action request, free quick look audit. We can explore Anna's services. We have a card here. Need a long-term accessibility partner. I offer fractional accessibility consulting, remediation for businesses that need ongoing expertise without the commitment of a full-time hire. So yes, this is what we talked about in our sessions, is that this is something that is wide open in the marketplace. It is not competitive, but it's a concept that is really already needed now, but it will become more formalized and more in demand in the coming months. And so, what will happen is there are many organizations who desperately need help with accessibility, but they either can't afford to or they don't want to hire someone, they don't want to hire a full time employee. So, this is a really nice in between, and something that maybe it's not, hasn't been as much in demand yet, but it will be because we're seeing accessibility just surge. Accessibility, the demand for accessibility and compliance services just continues to increase, and so Anna here is in the right place at the right time, and I really like, what I really like is that Anna made this happen, because all too often we gather information, but we don't actually act upon that information. We just have it, which really doesn't serve us. But here we see Anna taking the information in the course, our one-on-one sessions, and making it happen. And now we've got a business, we've got a website, we've got the marketing in place. There are going to be people that come across Anna's website and end up hiring her, and that's what this is all about. So continuing on down the website, we've got the remediation services overview. We've got different options. We've got more on remediation, ongoing maintenance plans, accessibility audits. We've got pricing. We've got how Anna's audits work. We've got everything here to provide information to the buyer and invite them to contact for more, and then hopefully have a connection where a deal is closed. And now Anna has a business, and it's from one client, it goes to two, from two clients, five, and so on. So this was just really, really nice to see. Anna is such a nice person. In fact, I've had Anna on this channel, and we recorded a podcast. I'll link to that in the description. But yeah, so here it is, just someone acting upon and taking advantage of this opportunity. There was some luck here because exact match domains, as much as I like them and they are great for SEO, I think Anna's had this site maybe 6 or 8 months, and so it's already ranking number one. But also advantage to the person who registers this domain and actually builds a website on it, because the niche still isn't all that competitive. Going back to the search results, we can see here that there are other operations, other businesses, companies that are seeking to get clients from using this term. So we see Another website, Fractional Accessibility Services for Startups. So they've even specialized, narrowed it down to startups. And then we've got Fractional Accessibility Leadership. I think the leadership aspect of this will definitely, I think that there will definitely be demand for that. And of course, with the startups as well. But this is just my point is there's so much here. If you're just thinking and you're being creative, there is so much opportunity and room here for you to create your own business. Even if it's just as simple as you're offering contracting services, and let's say you're just getting paid through PayPal, that is here for you. All you have to do is start to think and start to anticipate what people are going to look for. Anna here has done this, and so now she's ranking number one. That's the marketing we need to make sure that people can find us. Someone can now find her. Now it's for fractional accessibility. She is there. And one other thing I wanted to add is that jobs are risky. Now, for some people, jobs make the most sense because they are not entrepreneurial in any way, shape, fashion, or form, and they don't want to be, right? They don't want to deal with everything that comes with operating even a side hustle. They just want the job model to flow through that, and that's what they want to do. But I want to add that jobs are extremely risky, and especially what we've seen in digital accessibility. Of course, this happens everywhere, but I notice it because on LinkedIn, every so often you'll see someone, I was fired from my accessibility job at this, I would work for this company. They just fired me yesterday. And that is why having a job is so risky. A lot of times, a job is viewed as more stable, but it's actually not more stable. It's stable until it's not. And when it's not, there's nothing. The good thing about having your own business or your own side hustle, uh, it may be inconsistent, but it's it's there, right? Like you're not going to get fired from your own business, so at least you have the opportunity. And if you start to get consistency along with that opportunity, so consistency in clients, then it can really lead to something that's bigger and beyond a job. And so you're really operating independently, and you're the one in control rather than hoping that you don't get fired because of something you said, or maybe whatever the case is, right? We know that we know how whimsical jobs can be. And maybe when there's a downturn in the economy, maybe when, let's say, contracts go up and they don't get renewed, you start wondering, am I still going to have a job? You don't have to wonder about that when you are working for yourself. So there are different aspects to this, right? You can start a formal company, you can start a small business, you can just be an individual working on your own contracting basis. But there's so much that is wide open in digital accessibility. So when it comes to jobs, if a job just works for you, I completely understand that. But if you're open to the idea, you should at least consider having your own contracting business along with any job, because then you have less risk. When you have only a job, you have tremendous risk because everything is fine until it isn't. When it isn't, then you're looking for a job, and we know I've seen this happen so many times where people are looking for jobs and they apply. It's not a lack of effort. It's not anything wrong with the person. It's not a lack of skills or experience. I have seen uh, completely competent people who are skilled, experienced, would meet every single bullet point on a job listing, not get jobs for months. This happens, and I've of course I've read other people where it's the same. You can't rely upon a job. You can't rely on the marketplace. So if you have any entrepreneurial inclination, it makes sense to at least give yourself that other option. Open that other option for yourself. So this is where you can get started and start to create your own business, work on that, and then also you can still have your job or you can still look for other jobs, but you develop something that you're in control of, your own asset. And that is, and especially the reason I especially recommend it with accessibility is because I see the marketplace. it is going to open up even so much more than it already has. I talked about how in August and September, the first part of September, I had two really bad months. And that happens when you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't, it's not just all clients and everything works out well. No, there's a lot to get through. And there can be inconsistency, but at least you have the upside and you have all of the upside to yourself. And so you can have it both ways, and to some degree, because you can look for a job, you can have a job, but at the same time, on the side, you can start to build up your own business. And again, with accessibility, it's really a good time to do that and to start making people aware of the fact that you are in the marketplace and that you can help them with whatever you specialize in. So look for something that you specialize in, start to build around that, and just develop it and take action and give yourself a chance. So many people never give themselves a chance. Give yourself a chance to be successful. There is work that goes into it. It is not it is not a straight line up, right? It goes up and down, but it's not. It's actually a very low risk to start up your own business, and there's so much upside, especially when you're in an industry like digital accessibility. 2026 is going to be a really, really good year for digital accessibility. I can tell you, I just looking at we're looking at more and more people reaching out, asking about accessibility services. This is worldwide. This isn't just in the United States. This is worldwide where people are looking for digital accessibility services. So many people need help. Fractional accessibility is a great idea. It doesn't stop there. This is just one idea. There's just so much to do. There's so much to do, and so if you have any inclination to starting your own business, I highly recommend it. And my business course is, I think it's how to start a digital accessibility business. It's available on adacompliance.net. I will link to that in case you're at all interested. There's real opportunity here for you.